I am Detective Alex Harper, 32 years old, and my life has mostly revolved around solving puzzles and peering into the darkest corners where secrets hide. Based in the coastal town near Cormorant's Perch Island, I had always thought I knew the lines that divided the civilized world from the strange and wild. That belief shattered the day I was called to a domestic disturbance on the island, where the ordinary twisted into something monstrous. The report was simple: a noisy quarrel at 14 Seabird Lane, home to Ilias and Alara Vance. Rumors of violent shouting, broken things, and a boy who whispered strange things aboard pulled me into a story unlike any I had ever faced. The island itself was a world unto its own, a granite and pine fortress surrounded by unforgiving waters and an unyielding mist. Its people were fishermen and farmers, deeply rooted in old traditions and fiercely private, the kind who carried the weight of ancestral secrets as heavily as the nets they mended. My sergeant warned me, telling me these islanders were particular, and that I should leave my firearm with the mainland constabulary, as the uniform was authority enough. Uneasy but bound to my duty, I set out alone. When I first knocked on the Vance's door, the tension inside the house was thick and tangible. Ilias, a mountain of a man with hands blackened by labor or worse, and Alara, quick-tongued and sharp as a blade, were entangled in conflict over their traditions. To me, it was a fight born of stubborn pride and fear, but the boy Finn's sudden whisper revealed a deeper dread. "They eat people from the mainland." I tried to dispel his terror with words of comfort, but beneath that innocent voice was a chilling truth I was yet to grasp. After the quarrel settled, I left the house and met the island's elder, Malachi, who invited me to stay for the Harvest Festival. An islander's annual rite of thanks to the sea's bounty, the festival promised a rare glimpse into their world. Hospitality crept slowly into my wariness as old Martha welcomed me with food and warmth. But every smile, every story told by the fishermen held a shadow, and the baked goods and stews carried tales I did not dare question at first. The day before the festival, I wandered the island, drawn to a sinister cove they called the Boneyard. There, half buried in the sand, I found the bone of a finger, wearing a rusted wedding ring. Nearby, remnants of a human jawbone lay tangled in discarded nets, and the twisted shapes of human bones formed skeletal cages beneath the indifferent gaze of the cliffs. The monstrous reality fell upon me like a wave. This was no celebration of fish or fruit. The islanders had been feeding on the mainlanders. My radio's antenna was snipped, cutting off my lifeline. I was trapped, a reluctant guest in a feast of horrors. The night of the Harvest Festival was a nightmare masked in glittering firelight and dark songs. The islanders gathered around a towering pyre, their faces painted with ravenous joy as they toasted me as the honored guest and part of their grim procession. Plates heaped with unfamiliar meat were laid before me, and I ate to live, masking the revolted tremors inside. When Malachi spoke of the dance at the fire's foot and the final act of gratitude, I knew I was the harvest. In a rare distraction caused by a spilled platter, I bolted, pursued by a pack of grim-faced islanders. Sprinting through narrow alleys, I plunged into the freezing harbor water and swam like a mad woman toward a mainland trawler, saving myself from the abyss that loomed on the island. Back on the mainland, my story was met with disbelief, labeled a hallucination from hypothermia and exhaustion. Yet the nightmare wasn't over. When the police received another domestic call from the island, this time a young couple named Thorne, I knew it was a trap. The officer sent never returned, and silence fell over Cormorant's Perch once again. I am a woman broken by what I saw, caught in a web woven of lies and blood. The island's secrets are carved into my soul, and I know the wheel has turned to claim its next offering. I remain a detective haunted, bearing witness to a horror that no one back home will believe. And so, I watch and wait, knowing the harvest will come again.